it's Hikari Silver. It's the 4th day of the new year, and chances are you're still trying to recoup from the holidays. Yada yada yada. But there is one thing I need to talk about in regards to 2022. It was a great year for video games. In fact, 2022 will go down in history as one of the years that video game companies were pushing to create more immersive and revolutionary experiences. Did they succeed? You be the judge. Here are my top 20 RPGs of the year. Links to the games, my reviews, and more can be found down below in the description. As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and share my channel. Click that notification bell so that you know when I am posting my latest videos. If you like my content and would like to see more, let me know about that down below in the shout out section. Also check me out on Twitter, the link for that and my socials are down below in the description. We are all about the feels. When we were kids, we played Fire Emblem for hours on end, and now we play it again as an adult, but this time we don't just want to get through the game, we want to conquer it. We want to be the best, we want to feel like a total badass when we beat that boss and take home our prize. Well, Grey Heritage Faded Vision is the game for you if you're looking for a Fire Emblem-like experience that doesn't take itself too seriously. It captures a lot of the feel and spirit of the classic 8-bit and 16-bit Fire Emblem games, including the fun little battle sprites and even better battle animations, animated battlefield icons, and tactical gameplay for my tactical babes, all while letting you use your favorite characters in ways that works best for you and them, and of course while you're still having fun. The game even gives you hints on how to approach each map, so even if you don't know what's going on at first, because I certainly didn't, you'll have no problem trying to figure it out eventually. Each character was useful in their own way, and it's fun getting to know all of their unique skills and strengths. The story was well paced, and the characters were endearing. If you've ever wanted to play a beat-em-up game that stars an anime schoolgirl, then Dusk Diver 2 is your jam. It's got everything you could want in a game like this. An interesting story, plenty of characters to choose from, and gorgeous 2D art. The gameplay is a split between exploring dungeons and battling enemies in real time. While the former often feels like filler content, it's still enjoyable as long as you don't mind the way they reuse dungeons over and over again. The fight sequences are where the real fun lies. They're fast-paced and responsive, but sometimes feel repetitive due to the limited nature of Musou combat mechanics, which admittedly not suited for this kind of game. But there's more than just fighting waiting for you when you play Dusk Diver 2. There are new characters, new scenes, new customization. It's an all-new adventure. The new Atelier series continues to grow and become more and more polished with each game. With Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream, users can look forward to a turn-based system that is both challenging and fun, as well as a beautiful story with memorable characters. Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream is also a return to form for the series, which has seen several previous games move away from those turn-based battles. This is something that fans have been asking for since the first game, so it's great to see Gust finally listening to its audience. The puzzle system in this game is incredibly impressive. It's not easy to make a system like this work well in an action RPG format, but Gust clearly knows what they're doing, and it shows through in this title. In addition, there are many different ways you can customize your experience, from character levels all the way down to how much money you want to spend on items and equipment. Many times throughout 2022, I spoke of this game. Now I'm going to speak about it again. It seems that Square just loves pumping out great games. Though this game came out to mixed reception, I do adore this game. If you're looking for a new RPG to sink your teeth into, then the Diofield Chronicle is a good place to start. It features an engaging story and combat that is challenging without being overly complex. But the game isn't without its problems. It's underbaked in more ways than one, and even its best qualities are often marred by some significant flaws. The graphics are beautiful though. The controls are smooth, the story is interesting enough, but there's something missing. There's always something missing. The voice acting can be kind of bland, the dialogue is a little chunky, and the characters feel like they were just slapped together at random into a story they had no business being in. However, you can see that they tried to make every battle as exciting as possible by adding in this little thing they called real-time strategy. It's not bad, it's actually really cool. All in all, if you're looking for something lighthearted that will pass time while you wait for your next bus or train train home or work from school, then maybe you should give this a try. The Witch Queen is a giant leap for Destiny 2 and a giant leap for me. I have been playing since Destiny 1 back in 2014, and this expansion is exactly what I needed to get back into the game full force. The campaign has been spectacular, the new destinations are gorgeous and fun to explore, and the new weapons are satisfying to use. From its gorgeous art style to its narrative and gameplay advancements to its incredibly satisfying weapon crafting system, which I can't stop messing with, admittedly. This expansion has taken Destiny 2 from good to amazing. My favorite part of this entire expansion is how it feels like Bungie took the community feedback and went the extra mile to establish itself as Destiny. The overhauled subclasses feel like they could be in any sequel, and there's so much more depth to crafting that it feels like a whole new world of possibilities has just opened up. If you're looking for an excuse to try Destiny 2 again, or if you've been waiting for an opportunity to give this amazing game another shot, I can't recommend the Witch Queen enough. If you can't wait to get into some more Destiny 2, then you're in luck. Lightfall expansion will be out this year on February 28th. Get prepared, Guardian. The Radical Dreamers Edition is a masterfully crafted JRPG with a well-written narrative that will stay with you long after you finish playing. The combat mechanics are approachable yet still involved enough to keep things interesting and allow for plenty of variety in how you play, and the presentation is endearing. I love the character models and sound design. The soundtrack and sound quality are noticeably improved in this remastered version too, so if you enjoyed the game before, you'll enjoy revisiting it now with trophies as an incentive to experience this game in full. As an easy recommendation to buy for anyone who's already familiar with Chrono and Chrono Trigger and enjoyed it in any type of way. There are some games that you just know are going to be great before you even play them. Soul Hackers is one of those games, and it doesn't disappoint. The Persona Devil Summoner and SMT series has always been a favorite of mine, and Soul Hackers 2 is no exception. I loved the way Atlas managed to keep the feel consistent while simultaneously making it their own new game with new gameplay mechanics, an updated story, and new characters. It's like they took everything that was good about all three of these series and blended them together and made it kind of better. I think what I enjoy the most about this game is how easy it is for newcomers to get into. If you've played a Persona or Shin Megami Tensei game before, then you will probably feel right at home here. But even if you haven't, there's enough explanation in-game that you can figure things out pretty easily. The story is compelling, especially if you love anime, and the characters are likable, so it's not that hard to want to keep playing so you can spend more time and get to know them a little better. Remember, this is no Persona game, so there may be some things with this game that you might not be able to overlook, such as a lackluster dungeon design. If you haven't tried this game yet, it's the perfect time. It's a classic. Generations of Pokemon fans have been waiting to play this game since basically they were little, and they weren't disappointed even though they didn't know it. The game introduces a new battle system that is fluid and intuitive with a variety of moves available at your fingertips. This keeps the battles interesting. The plot is simple but powerful, with plenty of twists and turns to keep the players on their toes. The only drawback is that there are some technical issues that can cause frustration at times. It is by no means like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which was and still is plagued with more technical issues that Pokemon Legends Arceus just didn't see. Trails from Zero is the best of Falcom. It's got a compelling story with great characters, backed by superb localization, a stunning port with great quality of life features and visuals, compelling combat with extensive depth, and just so much more. But what really makes Trails stand out is the love that has gone into making it. From the stellar writing to the gorgeous localization, every aspect of this game feels like a labor of love. It's time to get your game on, Digimon fans. Digimon Survive arrived, and it's been even better than most people could hope for, but the reception is kind of mixed. The game is beautifully done with a world that feels real enough to touch and characters you'll still really actually care about. The music, tone, and art style are all still varied, so you're not stuck with one vibe all the way throughout the story. And you know what? This game is all about player choice. The dialogue matters, the story matters a lot, and your choices really do make a difference in how things turn out. It's got everything you'd expect from a visual novel, lovely voice acting, immersive writing that draws you in, interesting characters who make you fall in love with them as soon as you'll grow together or apart. And did I mention it has fun battle mechanics? Yeah, you can do free battles between chapters if you get tired of reading about people talking to each other about whatever it is. But trust me, when I say there will be days where you just want to sit back and let someone else do all the work for once. Nothing could have prepared me for just how good this game actually ended up being. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Remake is a hit with fans. It's been 15 years since Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII was first released, and the beloved game is back in a new remastered. This new version has been completely reworked to make it more accessible to modern audiences. However, there were some changes made that may have upset some longtime players of the original game. The story remains unchanged from before, it's just that now anyone who wants to play through it can do so without having difficulty with either their own gameplay or understanding what's going on in terms of plot development between characters throughout each chapter, which is further complicated by all those different versions we see over time. Zack dreams of doing the right thing, taking down evil mega corporations and protecting people from harm, but when his friend Genesis goes rogue and starts fighting against Shinra, Zack's world is turned on its head. It's been a long time since the first Tactic Ogre's Let's Us Cling Together came out. The year was 1995, if I'm not mistaken, and the game was so ahead of its time that it established an entire genre, tactical RPGs. Tactics Ogre Reborn is a brilliant remake of that classic game. It's got a great story, fun battles, intense music, in between tough fights. You get to learn about this world and its characters as you progress through the game. The graphics and new features brought a breath of fresh air to the remake and, in my opinion, round it off well. Above all, Tactics Ogre Reborn proves that the game that established an entire genre remains relevant no matter how much time has passed since its original release. Live Alive is a game for people who think they've seen it all. The game originally never released outside the West and finally made its debut in 2022. Live Alive is a trip through time. It's got everything from cavemen to robots and everything in between. So you might be thinking, wait, how can a story written in short stories be interesting? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's not just the plots that make this game great, it's also the characters that live inside them. You might not like every character or story, but there are definitely some gems in there, and that's worth sticking around for. This isn't just another RPG, it's an experience of its own kind, and it's one I think everyone should try at least once in their lives. It's not just a JRPG, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Look, I know you're busy. You've got a job, maybe family, a social life, maybe even a dog. You don't have time to play games anymore. You're not a kid anymore, or maybe you are a kid. You don't have time for this stuff. But I'm telling you, if you want to grab a few minutes of fun every day with no strings attached, then this game is for you. It's not like other games where you have to worry about unlocking different characters or finding the right upgrades or whatever else normal people worry about when they play games. No, this game is basically about speed running through levels, collecting cards that give you crazy powers, like being able to jump really high or shoot fireballs from your hands. It's all about unlocking new levels by giving gifts to characters who live in the game world around you, which is pretty self-aware about how weird that might sound. And it's all about trying to get the best time in each level so that you can go back later and find out how to reach things like hidden birthday cakes, other cool stuff that makes it worth playing over and over again and again. I mean, Neon White, I guess it's not for everyone. It's definitely not meant. The love, the dedication, creativity, and inspiration that goes into developing any game is something you can't ignore. And that's why you have to appreciate Chained Echoes. Created and developed by one person, this game is a testament to their passion for the RPG world. The story is paced perfectly, and you can tell that the game was carefully designed with every decision made by the developer. The battles are just challenging enough to make you rethink your loadout and actually engage with assistance. I love all the small details that make the simple zones feel alive. It makes me feel like they're actually places where people are and live and work, not just backgrounds for my character to walk through on their way from point A to B. Chained Echoes is so good. It's got everything I want in an RPG. Tight gameplay, an interesting story, and interesting characters. Square Enix initiative in 2022 had been pretty solid for some of the games they released this year. If you're looking for an excellent game to play on your Switch, look no further. Triangle Strategy is a fantastic mix of satisfyingly strategic battles, an excellent choice-driven narrative campaign, and a top-notch world building, all of which come together to form one of the finest tactical RPGs I've played in a very long time. There's an absolute ton of content here, with a huge story featuring multiple paths to take depending on the choices you make, and several properly impactful endings to enjoy on return visits. Join Sarah Noah Wolfert's epic journey from start to finish, and a grand, ambitious adventure that stands proud as one of the very finest examples of the genre on the Switch. Fire Emblem Warriors isn't just a game, it's a way of life. When I heard about Fire Emblem Warriors, I knew it was just going to be something different. It just felt like it wasn't the same as other games I've played, and I was right. Fire Emblem Warriors is a game that combines the technical gameplay we know and love from Fire Emblem with the hack and slash action of the Musou Warrior series. It's got everything you need to get lost in your favorite character stories, and it has some new ones too. The story is set in a world where the events from Fire Emblem Three Houses took place, but with new characters who are coming into power as their rivals fall by the wayside. You'll find familiar faces, but there's always something new to discover. You can play as one of the three houses. No matter which one you choose, you'll find plenty of exciting missions and side quests waiting for you at every turn. You also unlock some pretty amazing weapons. I never thought I'd enjoy a game with so much narrative like this, but Fire Emblem Warriors is the best of both worlds. It's all about the relationships, baby. Horizon Forbidden West won so many accolades that it's no surprise it's made its way onto my list. This is a game that will leave you breathless. It's set in the same world as Horizon Zero Dawn. This sequel picks up where the first game left off. You take on the role of Aloy, a huntress with a mysterious past, as she ventures into a new territory known as the Forbidden West, in search of answers to some of her most pressing questions. What's more, Aloy has been given some new tools to help her along her journey. The map is diverse and full of stunning sights, especially when you consider that it's set in a post-apocalyptic world. There are plenty of places to explore and secrets to uncover, which makes it easy to get lost in this game for hours at a time without even realizing it. The characters and conversations are so much better than they were in Horizon Zero Dawn as well, personally. The voice acting is still top-notch, but now there are more opportunities for different kinds of conversations with different kinds of people. You do yourselves a disservice if you don't tap into the narrative of this game. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is more than just a game, it's an experience. It's a journey through a world that feels like it could be real, with characters who feel like they could have been real people. The storytelling and writing are so powerful that you can't help but become more emotionally invested in them, even though they're not human. If you played any of the previous games, you know what to expect. A huge world full of quests, beautiful music, and an emotional story. This game is no different, except it's bigger than before, and the world is just so vast. I mean, it took me over 100 hours just to finish it, and I kept finding new things to explore. The music is also amazing. It really helps set the tone for each scene, whether it's relaxing or intense, or both. And let me tell you, this game has plenty of both. The world you explore is massive and full of places to see, yet it never feels overwhelming or cluttered. There are tons of quests to complete, more than any other Xenoblade game before, allowing you to really get lost in this universe if you let yourself go along with it. And all that time spent doing side content is worth every second, because it helps build such a strong bond between player and character over time. It's hard to put my finger on what made Xenoblade Chronicles 3 so special for me, personally. Maybe it's because this was one of the first in the series that I played on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. Maybe it's because I love sci-fi and fantasy RPGs a little too much, anime tropes. Or maybe because I'm a weeboo, it's just because the series has been one of my favorites. And whatever it is, I just want to see and dive in some more. And before I hit my number 1, I just want to mention some honorable mentions. These aren't for the top number 1 spot. They just couldn't make it to my list because of one reason or another. And that's Valkyrie, Elysium, Monarch. Persona 5, of course, deserves a place on this list, but we already know that that game is amazing. And it didn't originally release in 2022. But all is well in the world. Let's move on to the top number 1, and that would be Elden Ring. Making this list was an extreme task, and ranking Elden Ring was even more of one. This game took Game of the Year in the Game Awards, and rightfully so. Elden Ring is one of the most beautiful games you will ever play. You should just play it. I mean, seriously, play it. It is a Souls-like, but it's an open world game with a pretty unique approach to exploration and gameplay. If you thought that Dark Souls and other From Software titles were not your jam because of them being difficult, you will be surprised with this game. It's got a lot of things you love about Souls games: challenging combat, a deep lore, and an amazing soundtrack. But it also has some new stuff, an open world setting where you can explore at your own pace without being punished for not sticking to the beaten path. And it looks absolutely stunning on next-gen consoles. So if you're up for an engaging combat system that rewards your skill with a smooth and satisfying feel, give Elden Ring a shot. If this isn't your thing, let it be. Well, folks, those are my top games for 2022. What do you think? Did you enjoy some of these games last year, or will 2023 head you off to try something new? Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. As always, guys, I recommend that you like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. Again, I'm going to remind you to press that bell so that you know when my videos are coming. You can also support me on Buy Me a Coffee. I actually truly enjoy that. Your support here and there helps the channel grow. That's enough out of me today. I'm going to go clock in some more RPG time. And remember, guys, to really play